Let me know when you're ready.
Ready?
All right, guys. Today we're here in London, Ontario, with my colleague John Colley from Rescue 7, and Amir, the leader from Garda World, to present an award for the Canadian Lifesavers Association. It's so important to recognize the frontline security guards in our industry. You know, we always talk about rewarding the frontline in other industries, and we neglect to give praise and uplift the security guard industry. And that's one of the reasons that we started the Security Lifesavers Association. And it's an association that's brought the largest security companies in Canada together. Garda, obviously, one of them. So there's not a lot of things that brings competitors and large security companies together. And one thing that did that was rewarding the frontline security guards. Because before you get into any building, as you know, the guards are in the front. Before you go into the grocery store, before you go into the hospital, this particular condominium, before you go in, there's a guard at the front, a concierge or a security guard. And we have to do more to uplift this industry. And this award is very significant to really start that process of recognizing folks like Jesse. I want to turn it over to John Colley.
Thank you. I think I've prepared a little speech for you guys. I'm going to reiterate a little bit of what Mark said about the security industry, but good morning everybody first of all. And I'd like to thank Garda for having us and hosting with Amir, thank you. I was asked a few years back to become a sitting member of a brand new committee, and as Mark mentioned, it's the Canadian Security Lifesaving Association, or better known as the CSLA. I was humbled and thrilled to be asked, of course, and I jumped at the chance. I come from a background, I was a firefighter with the City of Toronto for 20 years. I took early retirement in 2008. I had to become president of a company, as Mark said, called Rescue 7. We provide AEDs, first aid training, and other life-saving services. Over the span of both careers, I came not only to recognize, but to witness firsthand how important security officers are to us and the security companies to our communities. They're the first responders, as Mark said, to emergencies which may require quick thinking and actions that may save a life, may diffuse a potential dangerous situation, and may comfort someone or a group in distress, along with many other occurrences that they come across. Which brings us here today. The CSLA receives many nominations from the security sector for heroic security officers that have gone above and beyond to help in whatever situation. Their training and dedication helps, but their bravery and determination abounds. Each quarter of the year, the CSLA reviews many submissions about how a security officer or officers helped in such crucial situations, which leads us to Jesse Brown, Mr. Jesse Brown. Jesse, while sitting down for lunch break at a location, I believe it was this location, he showed me the building that it happened at, was sitting down for lunch when he heard a fire alarm go off in the east tower of the property. He immediately went to the south entrance fire panel, told a colleague to hold the door open for the London Fire Department to come in, and to any tenants that they can get out. Jesse looked at the fire panel, which indicated that unit 914 had a heat detector triggered. Jesse radioed all superintendents with the location of the alarm and made his way to investigate. While running up the stairwell, he began smelling smoke and was getting worse as he approached the 9th floor. Upon arrival, the smoke was so thick that there was almost zero visibility. In front of him was unit 914, and he noticed that the door was slightly ajar. From the stairwell door, he yelled, "Security!" I think he screamed it properly. And if you're a 914, get out now and come into the hallway. Jesse heard someone cough and yell, "Help, help," from inside the unit. Jesse tried the handle and attempted to push the door, however it was stuck and would not open. He yelled through the door and that it was stuck, and the tenant to go back to get away from the door. Jesse realized that it was ajar, so he kicked the door in, breaking a mop that had fallen between the door and the wall that was jammed inside. Inside the unit was extremely thick yellow smoke where he could barely see his hand in front of his face. There was a fire to the right in the kitchen, burning all the way across towards the balcony door. The unit was extremely hot, of course, and he saw the tenant on his hands and knees next to him. He yelled for the tenant to get into the hallway. When he yelled at him, he believed that the tenant was in shock because the tenant stood up and blankly stared at him and shouted, "My cat," and ran further into the unit. The fire was spreading across items on the ground. Jesse then ran into the hallway, radioed again that the fire was active and spreading to the unit 914. He pulled the pull station, grabbed the fire extinguisher, went back into the unit and began putting out the fire. yelling for the tenant to come out to the door. Once Jesse was further into the unit, he saw the tenant again bent over coughing. He grabbed the tenant by his shirt, assisted him in the direction of the door, and the tenant went into the hallway, and he last saw him going down the stairs to the exit. Jesse turned and used the rest of the extinguisher on the fire that was spreading through the kitchen. He started experiencing breathing issues, and his lungs felt heavy from the exposure of the smoke, which we all know coming from a fire background, it's not the fire that usually kills you, it's the smoke inhalation. He met with paramedics and was taken to the hospital for precautionary measures afterwards, and thankfully, Jesse's with us today and here. So we'd like to honor him on behalf of the CSLA, between Mark and myself as board members. We'd like to say thank you for your heroics. We'd like to honor you with an award today. We do have a, yeah.